physique. So I'm going to show you guys how to calculate it using the Mifflin equation today. There's multiple... Guys, so the last video I mentioned that I was going to share some more information so that I could help you hit your fitness goals. And one of the most important things, and I don't think it's ever been overlooked, but it's maybe underappreciated, is your caloric intake. So I'm going to show you guys how to calculate it using the Mifflin equation today. There's multiple equations that you can use to calculate caloric needs, but this is one that I've used in the past, and it's not overly complex. So yeah, we'll get started. So the Mifflin equation. So basically what we're going to do is calculate your BMR. So it's also known as your basal metabolic rate. For male and female, it's quite similar. You take your weight in kilograms, multiplied by 10. We're going to add that value to 6.25 times your height in meters, and we're going to subtract the value of the sum of that from your age multiplied by 5, and then adding 5 if it's a male, subtracting 161 if it's a female. So I'll show you the equation. I just basically broke it down for myself. Once we have the BMR, then we will multiply it by a modifier here, and that will tell us, what our metabolic rate is based on our activity. So if we're sedentary, we're going to multiply the value by 1.2. If we have light activity, so you're working out 1 to 3 days a week, it's 1.375. Moderate activities, we're working out 3 to 5 days a week, 1.550. Very active is 1.725, and that's classified as 6 to 7 days in the gym working out vigorously. And then 1.9 would be extra active, so very hard workout, 6 to 7 days a week, maybe you play on a sports team and you work a physical job. So those are the qualifiers. So if you are only in the gym like 3 days a week, don't give yourself a very active rating, because that will inflate your caloric needs and often skew what you actually need to take in, which can definitely influence the results if you're looking to gain or lose. So we'll look at myself. So before we get started, just to let you guys know, if you are converting your pounds to kilograms, you can divide the value in pounds by 2.2. I know that most of us probably talk in pounds, however we are metric in Canada. So if you're For example, if I'm 205 pounds, I divide by 2.2, I get 93.18 kilograms. And for height, to convert your feet to meters, and I know again we speak in feet and inches, you're going to take the amount of inches that you have. So if you're 6'2", you're going to multiply that value of 74 times 2.54. So you get a value of 189.23. Okay, so here's where the magic happens. Multiply 10 by 93.18, you get 931.8. Now, multiply 6.25 by 189.23, you're going to get 1,182.68. Then we're going to multiply 5 by 35 to give me 175. I'm going to add 5, 180. So now we have all our values. So 931.8 plus 1,182.68 is going to give me 2,114.48. I'm going to subtract 180 from that, and that's going to give me 1934.48. That is my BMR, okay? Basal metabolic rate. That's how many calories my body just needs to take in to run itself on a daily. To breathe, if I was to do nothing, lay in bed all day, the systems, they require that much energy to, optimally function. So here's what we have to do now. We have that number, 1934.48. We're going to then multiply it by a modifier. For myself, I work out 6 to 7 days a week. Always doing something. I'm working out vigorously and multiple times a day often. So I give myself a very active. I don't do manual labor, so I'm not going to say I'm extra active. I'm going to multiply those values together. 1934.48 multiplied by 1.725, and that gives me 3,337 calories. Okay, so that would just be to maintain where I'm at 205. I want to lose, and a healthy loss can be anywhere from like half a pound up to 1.5 pounds. If you're hitting 2 pounds loss a week, you're pushing it. To maintain, muscle mass and not put too much of a stressor on your system, I would suggest no more than losing a pound a week. So over the course of a year, if you're consistently hitting it, if your weight loss goal is 50 pounds, you could execute that. But every day is important. Every day matters. So for a 1 pound loss per week, I'm going to give myself a 500 calorie deficit because 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. Divide that by 7 and that gives me 500. So for me to lose 1 pound of fat a week, I'm going to be taking 2837. That's my cutting. I like to give myself a life allowance. I like to log all my stuff. There is human error when we do log things, so I often err on the side that I've had more than something. So like if I might have had some rice, I put 2 cups in. It looks like 2 cups. I might put 2.12 cups in because I might had extra rice. I log all those things just to make sure. So even though I might be 2837, I'll probably go and aim for 2,500 calories. And something that I do like to do is if I eat 2,500 calories a day, I'm giving myself 337 calories. If I multiply that by 7, I'm going to be getting somewhere around, let's say, it's going to be like 2,200-ish. If I want to do a little bit of a cheat meal, I can take those calories and use it towards that on the weekend. But some strategies that I will do if I am doing like some sort of flexible day, I will cut down on maybe my planned snacks, that I might have a different breakfast, might be a little bit lighter, and then I can give myself some room for flexibility. So guys, I know there's a lot of numbers here, but it's the Mifflin equation. You can Google it. You don't need to count your macros. If we're looking to lose weight or gain weight, it's all about calories. Calories in versus calories out. If people are just talking about macronutrients and where do you think the macros come from, that's the percentage of how your diet's broken down. So if you're an elite athlete, you might want to really tackle that. But the only thing I really monitor too much is my protein intake. So if I'm 200 pounds, I want to get in 1 gram per pound. That's going to give me 200 grams of protein. And we know that there's 4 calories per gram of protein. So 2 times 4, we're looking for 800 calories out of my 2,500 is from protein, right? So that still gives me 1,700 for carbs and fat. So guys, I hope this helps just a little bit. There's other ways to calculate it. This isn't the best one necessarily. There are other methods, but this is the one that I've used in the past. So if you have any questions, folks, please comment below. Hope you enjoy the workout later.